Tyler and Megan show.
Megan and Tyler show.
Tyler and Megan show.
Anyways, the big night is finally here, and we want to be the first ones to welcome you to the first ever Edina Young Life's virtual banquet.
We hope you've been following along with our tips and tricks to add more excitement to your virtual banquet experience.
Your party hat, snacks, comfy clothes, and confetti.
Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Hi, I'm Newt Crenshaw, the president of Young Life. Thanks for taking the time to show up today and to see what God is doing in the lives of kids in your community. What you're doing is exactly what kids need. Kids need today more than ever adults to show up in their lives. It's through these relationships as adults go where kids are and walk alongside them that we in Young Life earn the right to share about how God showed up in the world through the person of Jesus Christ, and how this reveals the extravagant love God has for us. And regardless of a kid's response to God, adults in Young Life keep walking alongside them, no matter what. This is why I love Young Life. I've seen it show up in the lives of my own kids. I took my kids to a Young Life family camp when they were young, and I can still remember the delight and excitement on my daughter's face as she watched program. The characters making jokes and showing us that life is meant to be enjoyed. And this led to a simple and clear presentation of the gospel, which happens in Young Life every day. Kids hear about Jesus and his love and how they can walk with him. While a global pandemic has changed some of how we do things, our core remains the same. The adults you see on the screen, not me, but others, are the ones who know kids in your community. They actually like spending time with them. And now, when kids are more removed and isolated than ever, they are the ones who have relationships with these kids who are hurting and hopeful, anxious and excited. I want you to know that in Young Life, this is not a season to pause or halt what we do. Rather, we're going forward together. That's our focus. We're finding new ways to go together with kids. We know them and care for them. We are finding creative ways to share life together with them, because kids are dear to us. After all, going together is really about showing up. In a few moments, you'll hear about ways to show up for kids in your community. I want you to know that Young Life exists all around the U.S. and in 105 countries around the world. We're in the lives of over 2 million kids. We were able to do this because generous adults in communities like yours have decided kids need adults walking in friendship with them, and a chance to hear the good news of Jesus Christ. These adults support this work through prayer, time, and financial resources. Thanks for showing up today and considering how you can show up for kids who desperately need it.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Newt, for starting off our evening together. My name is Elena Hansen.
And I'm Topher Rose.
And we want to welcome you to the first ever Edina Young Life virtual banquet.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Tonight you'll have the opportunity to hear from students and leaders and see the firsthand impact Young Life is having right here in Edina.
But before we begin, we want to give a huge shout out to our Platinum Banquet sponsors, Punch & Associates, Dale Carnegie, and the Hershey Company. Thank you for your generosity.
Oh. So sorry I'm late, guys. I was busy sanitizing my hazmat suit. But I just wanted to say thank you so much for electing me as social distancing captain, and I will take this very seriously.
We definitely, did you ask? We definitely didn't ask you to be here.
Oh, you betcha. No, I was definitely elected. I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Karen, and I am the social distancing captain, and oh my gosh, you guys need to back up. My job here is to make sure that that doesn't happen again.
All right.
And I will keep an eye on you two.
Okay.
Yikes. Anyway, thanks for keeping us safe, Karen. Now, where were we? Oh yeah, Young Life.
Some of you may have been around in Young Life for a long time, but some of you may be new to the ministry and might be wondering, what is Young Life?
Young Life has been around for almost 80 years, and our mission is to introduce adolescents to Jesus Christ and help them grow in their faith. we accomplish our mission through what we call the 5 C's: contact work, club, campaigners, camp, and committee.
Contact work simply means going where kids are, meeting kids as they are, and believing in who they are. Contact work is one of the most important things we do at Young Life because it's all about building relationships. And Young Life is about relationships, not programs.
When most people hear Young Life, they think of club. Clubs are what we call our weekly large group meetings. We like to think of it as a party with a purpose. It's basically controlled chaos that's almost impossible to describe, but often includes songs, games, skits, and before the party ends, we share a simple message about God's love for us. After all, that's what the celebration is all about.
Campaigners is a place where students and leaders come together in a small group setting to open God's Word and learn more about their faith. Through Bible study, service, and leadership, kids will learn more about what it looks like to live out their faith and get to know Jesus better.
Camping is one of the hallmarks of the Young Life ministry. It's truly the best week of kids' lives. It's a week filled with adventure, deep relationships, and most importantly, the opportunity to hear the greatest love story ever told, the good news of Jesus.
Committee is the backbone of every healthy Young Life ministry. Our committee consists of a local team of adults, parents, and community members who provide a foundation of financial, administrative, and moral support for our local Young Life team.
2020 has been a crazy year, but while most of the world was on pause, this past spring and summer, Young Life continued, and Young Life leaders continue to show up in the lives of kids.
From Zoom clubs to FaceTime campaigners to TikTok challenges and special deliveries, leaders spent time with students and continued to share the hope of Jesus in the midst of great uncertainty.
With the beautiful weather this fall, we had the opportunity to do a few outdoor clubs, campaigners, bonfires, and other outdoor gatherings. But rather than just tell you, we'd like to show you what Young Life here in Edina has looked like these past few months.
What's up, Wildlife? Since we're taking a break from having club, we're going to be starting a new TikTok challenge.
Winners get Starbucks delivered by Tricky and Vicky.
Woo!
Yes, hello! This is good. It's very good to see you again.
Yes, I am a Babadoo.
And I am Alu.
And we come from the country of Koo. Now, the coronavirus
This is very bad.
Very bad.
Yes.
But it has not yet canceled the Spring Olympics, and so
everyone raise your hand. Everyone raise your hand. Everyone, I want to see everyone. Everyone raising their hand. All right. And when I say something, if you've done it, keep your hand up. If you haven't, you put your hand down, okay?
Under the sea! Under the sea!
Under the sea.
And now I get the honor to introduce Topher, and he's gonna give this week's talk. So yeah, give it up for Topher.
Yeah, that's Matthew chapter 7, verses 24 through 27. Everyone then who hears these words of mine and does them will be like a wise man who built his house on the rock. The rain fell, the floods came, the winds blew and beat on that house, but it did not fall because it was founded on the rock.
Hey, buddy. Special delivery.
Although we don't know what the future holds, one thing we do know for certain: we will continue to do what Young Life does best, going where kids are, building personal relationships with them, and earning the right to share the good news of Jesus.
In a time when kids feel more isolated than ever, Young Life is providing a community for students and reminding them that they are not alone. Leaders continue to show up, listen, and love kids well.
And right now, we have the opportunity to hear from a few Edina students who are going to share how they have felt seen, known, and loved through their relationship with their Young Life leaders.
From my first club, Will has made an effort to get to know everyone personally. He will go out of his way to be there to support us at our games and other activities, which is such a big thing for my friends and me. As a teenager, having a role model who has dealt with similar situations and can give advice on how to handle them means so much.
At Young Life, we want every kid to know that they matter, that they are seen and valued. From showing up at their soccer games, calling them by name, and showing a genuine interest in their lives, we want Young Life to be a place where all kids feel seen.
Will has meant so much to me and my group of friends. We know he is always there for us. I personally know that any problem I have, I can call him and he will support me through it, which I've appreciated so much. His perspective really helped me through some hard times this year. No matter how big or small my problems are, he is there for me and points me to God's plan.
When arriving at club on Monday nights, my leader Christy always comes over to my friends and I and starts asking us about our week. Right away, this makes us feel loved and cared for and excited to be at Young Life. On Friday mornings, Christy meets with the senior girls for campaigners, usually at a coffee shop, where we spend time together sharing our lives and growing in our faith through studying the Bible. It makes us feel so loved that Christy would get up early before going into work just to meet with us, listen to us, and lead our Bible study. I remember one Monday night, I missed club because I had gymnastics practice at the same time. I was sad to miss club, but Christy texted me while I was at practice asking if I wanted to hang out when club was over. She came over to my house and we talked for like an hour. She didn't have to go out of her way like that. It made me feel important and valued.
As Young Life leaders, we want to reflect the unconditional love of Jesus to our high school friends. We do this by caring for them, no matter what. Regardless of what a kid says or does, we're never going to stop showing up for them, and we're never going to stop sharing with them the love of Christ.
Outside of club and campaigners, I always love getting a text from one of my Young Life leaders, like Christy, Elena, or Kenzie, asking me to hang out. They just want to spend time with me, and that alone makes me feel loved. They show me who Jesus is in real and tangible ways. I'm a wildlife leader now, and my hope is to make middle school students feel loved and valued, just like my Young Life leader did for me.
I started going to wildlife in 6th grade, and from the beginning, I've been surrounded by leaders who genuinely want to know me and care about what I'm going through. One great example of this is my leader, Seth. I met Seth when I was going through my freshman year. I was very lost in life, and I felt like I didn't have a purpose or direction, and Seth showed me the love of God in ways I couldn't imagine. Throughout that whole year, and to this day, he would always check in with me when he knew I was going through a tough time. He would lend an ear whenever I really need to talk, and he actually cared about what I was going through, even if it was super pointless in retrospect.
Many high schoolers go through their teen years without ever truly being known. We want our high school friends to know that we genuinely care about who they are and what they're going through. As Young Life leaders, we walk alongside kids through life, both the good stuff and the really difficult stuff.
Seth makes me feel like I matter every day. He shows me the love of God day in and day out. I am blessed to have Seth in my life, because without him, I don't know where I'd be in my journey in pursuing Jesus.
Good evening. My name is Ryan Engel, and I am on the Edina Young Life Committee. Thank you again for joining us for our first ever virtual banquet. I love hearing those stories from students about how Young Life is continuing to have a positive impact in their lives and in our community here in Edina. Kids are feeling seen, known, and loved. And now more than ever, during a global pandemic and a time of significant isolation for many, kids in Edina need safe and meaningful opportunities to connect. They need caring adults to walk alongside them, and they need messages of hope. My kids love Edina Young Life. They connect with their peers in a fun, uplifting atmosphere. They develop personal relationships with their group leaders. And they hear the message of the gospel spoken in a rhythm and language they understand. In short, now more than ever, as a parent and an adult in this community, I believe kids need Young Life. And so I want to take just a few moments to talk about how we can help ensure that Edina Young Life continues to have a positive impact in our children and in our community. The annual budget for Edina Young Life for this fiscal year, which just ended September 30th, is $125,000. And that includes everything such as staff compensation, insurance, employee benefits, and operating costs. In addition, the amount includes all regional and national Young Life services, such as our camping department, human resources, and income processing. $125,000 to ensure that kids in Edina continue to have a safe place to connect, a place where caring adult role models will walk alongside them, and a place where they will get to hear about a God who created them and loves them and wants to give them hope and a future. Now I want to pause for a moment and acknowledge that we are aware that many have been affected by financial hardships due to COVID-19, and that some of you who have supported Edina Young Life in the past may not be able to give at the same level that you did this past year. And some of you may not be able to give at all. And we want to say that we understand and sympathize with the difficulties of this time. Some of you, however, may still be in a position to give generously this year. And if that is the case, now more than ever, we need your financial support. Tonight, we are asking you to join us in raising $95,000 with our one-time gifts. And if you would like to create a sustainable giving strategy, we ask that you also consider becoming a monthly giver. Just to give you a little window into the current area giving, around $30,000 is given annually to Edina Young Life through monthly giving, which leaves around $95,000 left to raise through the annual banquet and individual one-time gifts. Now, if you are tuning in tonight and your household is one that I mentioned earlier, who is still in a position to give generously this year, you could give a large gift of $5,000, $10,000, $25,000. Now more than ever, we need your support. Young Life has not been immune to the financial hardships that have arisen due to the pandemic, and significant gifts at the beginning of the fiscal year are going to be absolutely critical in setting up a healthy foundation for ministry this year. Now, many of us might not consider ourselves in a position to give a $10,000 gift, but maybe you logged on tonight with a specific dollar amount in mind. If that is the case, I would like to ask you to consider something. What if you took that dollar amount you had in mind, let's say it was $300, and you took a quarter of that amount, $75, and you started giving it monthly to Young Life here in Edina? You would be tripling your impact over the course of the year, but in maybe a more manageable way. If you are currently a monthly donor, first I want to say thank you. This helps create a consistent financial base. Would you consider increasing your monthly gift, or perhaps consider giving an additional one-time gift this year, knowing that now more than ever, Young Life is going to need your support? For those watching tonight through the Giving Fuel platform, scroll down below this video and you will see an area where you will be able to give a safe, secure, one-time gift to Edina Young Life. You will also find a link that will take you to our area giving page, where you can easily set up a recurring monthly gift as well. If you are watching through another platform, use the giving link giving.younglife.org/Edina, or head to our website edina.younglife.org to make a donation. I would also like to mention that there are a number of other creative ways of giving to Young Life via stocks, 401ks, estate gifts, real estate, Thrivent Choice Dollars, and many other options. If that is something that is of interest to you, please let us know, and we will get you more information about any of those giving options. It goes without saying that Edina Young Life is a 501c3 not-for-profit organization, and therefore all donations to Young Life are 100% tax deductible. Thank you again for joining us, and for considering how you might help Edina Young Life continue to care for and support young people in this community.
Thank you, Ryan, for your support as a committee member and a dedicated Young Life parent. Although tonight is not what we imagined the 2020 banquet to look like, we are so grateful for the opportunity to spend an evening with you, virtually, and to share the impact Edina Young Life is currently having in the lives of students and in our community.
We couldn't do this without your support, so thank you. And a big shout out again to our Platinum Banquet sponsors, Punch & Associates, Dale Carnegie, and the Hershey Company. We are grateful for all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for supporting Edina Young Life.
Thank you, Edina Wildlife.
Thanks for supporting Edina Young Life.
Thank you so much for supporting Young Life.
Thank you so much for supporting Young Life.
Thank you for supporting Edina 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 Young Life.
Thank you, Wildlife.
Thank you for supporting Edina Young Life.
Thank you for supporting Edina Young Life.
Thank you so much, Wildlife. Wildlife is the best.
Thank you so much for supporting Edina Young Life.
Thank you for supporting Edina Young Life. Thank you.
Thank you for supporting Edina Young Life.
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 Thanks for supporting Edina Young Life.
Thank you, Young Life.
Thank you so much for supporting Young Life.
Thank you for supporting Edina Young Life.
Thank you. Thanks for supporting Edina Young Life.
Thank you for supporting Edina Young Life.
Thank you for supporting Edina Young Life.
Thanks for supporting Edina Young Life.
Thanks for joining the mission and supporting Edina Young Life. Thank you for supporting Edina Young Life. Thank you.
Thank you for supporting Edina Young Life.
Thank you for supporting Young Life.
Thank you for supporting Edina Young Life.
Thanks, Edina Young Life.
Thank you so much for supporting Edina Young Life.
Thank you for supporting Edina Young Life.
I just want to thank all of you so much. We couldn't be doing all the things we're doing without you, and it means a lot. Thank you.